What's up, guys? Good morning. God bless. Quick video blog. I had a guy on my channel the other day say that, I don't have a huge channel, but I have a couple of people that follow me and listen to my words and listen to what I say. And they say that they've been a long time follower of mine and they wanted to kind of understand what my 20s were like. And because I'm 37 now, and people, they want to know what the beginnings were like. Well, dude, the beginnings were very hard, man. They were hard, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it was easy. It was not easy, man. Every single day I was kamikaze. Meaning that I was chasing my goals with such, oh my gosh, and plus, like, when you're in your 20s, you have to understand something about being in your 20s, you guys who are in your 20s. Your energy is all over the place. And if you're high energy, or you're just like, let's say you're focused, you're determined, you want to get somewhere, your energy is probably all over the place and you're determined and whatnot, but you're kind of like, you don't know what works and what doesn't. So you're testing things, you're reading things, you don't know who to trust and whatnot. There's an air of unpredictability. You don't know if you're ever going to get to where you want to get to. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. I kept going and kept going and kept going. Well, even into my 30s, I kept going and kept going and kept going, kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. I was fighting against myself, fighting against my vices. I was angry. I was upset with myself. I moved between depression and anger because I wasn't where I was supposed to be, And if you're going through that and you're fighting, understand this. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. One thing I do wish that I had earlier in my 20s was a solid relationship with the Lord and an understanding with the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, that I feel would have sped things up faster. So if I had to say anything to somebody in their 20s that is pursuing their goals and is in that stage, it would be pretty much to have that relationship with God so God can center you, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did when I was 20. Because in my 20s, I made a lot of mistakes, man. It's not, and I'm not talking about just from business. In business, you're going to try different things and you have to make mistakes to learn. But I'm talking about in life. I made a lot of mistakes in life, let my anger get the best of me. I crashed and burned things, but I learned from them, and I'm 37 now, and I still deal, believe it or not, I still deal with anger, but I don't let it destroy everything around me this time. But, in your 20s, this is the time to build discipline. This is the time to test things. This is the time sorry, I'm swatting because there's a lot of gnats out here. This is the time to build discipline. This is the time to build your foundation of experiences. This is the time to test new things and try new things. This is the time, because when you hit your 30s and whatnot, you will look around and you will find out that not everybody else had the same determination as you. A lot of people talked, but they gave up halfway. You didn't give up. You stuck with it. You kept going hard, and eventually you succeeded. You're eventually going to succeed. You may not be Elon Musk. You might be, but you may not be Elon Musk. You may not be Jeff Bezos. You may not be Mark Zuckerberg, but you will be successful and you will be in the top 10%. Because what really separates the top 10% from the bottom 90 is effort and ambition. And it starts from something as simple as just a regular job. If you are working at McDonald's, if you are working as a janitor, if you are working as a chef, if you're working at a deli, if you're working at 7-Eleven, and you are the hardest worker, you show up early, you leave late. Obviously, you have to broaden your horizons and think outside of that job. But you are building the work ethic. You are building the responsibility expectations. You are building the mindset of a champion. It doesn't matter that you're not where you have to be yet. Do you understand that I was a taxi driver at one point? Do you understand that? I used to work as a filing clerk for an insurance company for $11 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, and plus, even though I've made success in business, I'm well aware that at any single point in time, I can fall on a bad, chain of events and bad luck and bad situations and whatnot that could bring me back to that point. But the difference is that I am ready and willing to go back to any point that I have to in order to struggle to get back here and beyond. And that's what you have to have. When you're 20, you need to understand that you are carrying the value. It's not your circumstances and it's not your environment that carries the value. The value travels with you. So wherever you go, you need to be able to say, no matter where I am, no matter where I'm at, I will figure it out, or I will find a place where I can figure it out because I'm motivated, I'm determined, I'm ambitious, I have a purpose. Also in your 20s, yeah, I didn't realize it when I was in my 20s, but a lot of superhero things appeal to me. I love the one from Matrix, like Neo, Superman, Green Lantern, all these things. Goku from Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta, like all these things. And they may seem small, they may seem trivial, but you have to understand that if these, you have to understand if these things resonate with your soul, they resonate with your soul for a reason. If you're on my page and you're reading my messages, you're here for a reason. That means that God has chosen you. Like if my message isn't irritating your soul and your spirit, or if it is and it's making you want to change, God has chosen you to be the one in your family. God has chosen you to be the one amongst your peers. You know how I know? Because God has chosen me to be the one. God chose me to be the one. I can see it in hindsight. I didn't know it when I was 20. When I was in my 20s, I thought I was a failure. When I was in my 20s, I was down on myself. I was depressed and I was angry. And I was like, I knew something was missing. I was like, God, why won't you let me scratch the surface of my potential? But God did not let me scratch the surface of my potential because I didn't know the Lord. I wasn't willing to submit to the Lord in my 20s. So God was like, no. You're going to get right with me first, and then I will let you scratch the surface of your potential. If you don't get right with me, you ain't touching nothing. Because God knows that if you succeed without having God in your life, it's kind of like a pointless victory because you're going to end up squandering what you've been given, and typically the devil likes to do this thing. The devil likes to give people who are not ready for success, what appears to be an abundance of success or what appears to be, all these things. And they come with trappings. They're called the trappings of success. They're traps. You'll be a multimillionaire NBA player with your testosterone at peak levels, but you won't be able to refrain from lust. So you'll end up sleeping with multiple women, right? Let's say those kinds of people. Or you'll be in the NFL and you'll have a wonderful wife, a wonderful kid at home, but you won't be able to keep your dick in your pants. So you'll end up ruining your family, ruining your marriage. God does not want you to succeed without his guidance, because as men, we're kind of, and you may disagree with this if you're not spiritual like I am, but with men, I really primarily think that we are unfit to lead women. We are unfit to lead anybody and anything unless we are based in the Lord. Because the Lord is the ultimate, right? And it's like, how can if you lead a woman and you don't have the Lord in your life and you think you have all the answers to right and wrong, you're going to lead her down the wrong path typically. You're not going to have the wisdom from up above to know when you should pivot, to know when you should make changes. So anyway, to the young fella who's also Nigerian, it's in our culture. It's in our culture. It's in our culture to, provide and to be successful and to be your best and whatnot. My 20s were difficult. My father is successful himself, I had very big shoes to fill, and I had to do it myself because my father was not going to do that. My mother and my father have been together for over 38 years, and they came here from Nigeria. My father came from a crazy background where he was shot twice in the Biafran War, fighting for, Igbo land. And, he raised me and my three sisters with my mom, he treats my mom like the queen she is. He built a school in Nigeria for children. I had very big shoes to fill, and I had a very big example to learn from. But my father did not treat me with kid gloves, man. Like, he was like Joe Jackson when I was younger, borderline. Like most white people, if they saw how my father treated me, they would say he was abusive. Used to get my ass beat. I'm not just talking about beat. I'm talking about hit in the face. I'm talking about verbally, mentally, everything. And my father now, I look back and I was like, I'm right now I'm best friends. My father loves me. I mean, he's always loved me, but now our relationship is different. Now he's proud. I'm married. I have a baby on the way. I have 3 businesses that I own. I'm self-employed. And I for once, I can look at my father and I can say, like, I know what you did for me and I'm thankful, and, as Nigerians, I don't know if you experience the same thing, but I know your father might be tough on you, but he's doing it for a reason. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to thrive. And that's what a real father does. A real father will sacrifice the potential of affection and love and care from you and adoration from you for the sake of you being successful, because they want to leave that imprint in you so that you can also lead your future generations. They want to see you be more successful than them. So anyway, back to my 20s. My 20s was like that. I was battling against everything. I was battling against myself, battling against my father, battling against the world, battling against everything. I felt like I was in a fight that was just never ending. And it was and the fight was built up mainly because of my expectations and what I wanted out of life. If I didn't want anything out of life, there would be no fight. If I didn't want better for myself, there would be no fight. So if you are on my page and you are here and you're reading these things and you're asking me, what my 20s was like, you are in the right place, man. Have faith, get into a relationship with God, and keep going hard. Go hard, go smart. Don't do anything crazy, don't do anything illegal, but go hard and go smart, go balls to the walls. And I know that that's typical, sounds like typical advice, but that is where your greatness is uncovered. That is where you find out your skills and your talents. That is where you find out the superhero that you are. You find out what kind of superhero you are. Are you Superman? Are you Green Lantern? Are you the Flash? Are you Batman? You'll find out who you are by pushing through. Remember, diamonds are created under pressure. And that pressure that I felt in my 20s is what helped me now. That pressure now, it just lives in me. Every single day, I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm going at it. I have a gym in my house now, pushing through. It's like people are like, why? Why don't you just go lay on a beach? Because I love the game. Once you get to the point where you've succeeded, your values change. You don't value laying on the beach anymore. You develop a preference for the game. You'll want to work on your craft. You want to be better. You'll pursue excellence with a fire, and you'll do it consistently. It becomes a lifestyle. That is how success works. The only people that have the image of success without actually being successful are people who are handed everything. And you do not want to be like that as a man. You do not want to be like that. You want to be the person who built it. You want to be the person who says, if I lost this, I could build it again. I could do it again. I'll do it again. That's what you want to be like. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. I am open to you young men. If you want any kind of insight, any kind of advice about how to navigate this world, I am open to giving you my advice, because I want to see you guys win too. I want to see you guys win so badly, So I am open. I will give you advice. I will give you insight. I'm not perfect. No human being is, but I can tell you that my heart is in the right place, and I get guidance from the Lord, and I seek guidance from the Lord every morning. I'm standing outside in my backyard with my feet on the ground. Literally, I just prayed at my altar, and I pray here, and I connect with God before my workout every single morning, man. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes the prayer, it takes the effort. Faith without works is dead. Works without faith is not alive as well. It takes every single inch of your soul and your body. You have to live this. You have to breathe it. It has to be part of you. And it helps if you find a partner who understands that. If a woman sees it's part of your mission statement, it's who you are. You're not just doing it to get with the woman. You're not just doing it to get her. You're not just doing it for fleeting things. It's part of who you are. Many people will respect it and some people won't. But the people that don't, you don't need them. Because how can you have people in your life that don't agree with your growth? And you're growing and you're doing better for yourself. And that's just a clear-cut sign that you need to cut them off. But for the most part, in my 20s, I was going after it, man. I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. But in my 20s, I was going after it. And my energy was all over the place. Your energy may be all over the place, but I will say this. As you get older, your emotions don't hit as hard as they did in their 20s, because it won't be your first rodeo. It won't be the first time you've been through them. So all I got to say is God bless you. Thank you for your question. Keep going. I aim to motivate and inspire those of you who want more for yourselves. Keep your head and your heart towards God and pursue your goals with a flair, with a fire, and understand that God has a domain for you if you have this in your heart. Just keep going, man. I believe in you. You should believe in yourself, and God believes in you. God bless.